You wake up and notice it again. The replies are shorter. The energy feels thinner. People who once leaned in now lean away. And you can't explain what changed. Because you're still you. At first, you tell yourself you're imagining it. Everyone's busy. Life happens. You give them space. You wait. But the pattern keeps repeating. Conversations don't go as deep anymore. Plans get postponed. Compliments disappear. Attention fades. And slowly, quietly, you start wondering what you did wrong, without ever being able to name it. You replay moments in your head. Was it something you said? Something you didn't say? A message you sent too fast? Or too late? You notice how people's eyes drift when you talk. How enthusiasm turns polite. How interest turns neutral. Nothing dramatic. Nothing obvious. Just enough distance to make you feel unsure of yourself. And that's the hardest part. Not rejection. Not confrontation. But confusion. Because if someone tells you why they're leaving, at least you have something to hold. But when interest disappears silently, you're left questioning your worth in private. This doesn't happen once. It happens over and over. Different people. Different situations. Same ending. And each time, it chips away at you a little more. You start lowering your expectations. You stop getting excited. You pull back before others can. Not because you don't care, but because caring without clarity hurts. Eventually, frustration sets in. You try harder. You become more agreeable, more available, more understanding. You respond faster. You overexplain. You smooth every edge. And still, people drift. That's when quiet regret enters. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just that late-night feeling, where you wonder how you became so easy to overlook. And here's the part you never say out loud. You're tired of being the one who notices the change. The one who adjusts. The one who stays self-aware. While everyone else just moves on. But listen carefully. This isn't happening because you're boring. It's not because you lack value. And it's not because people suddenly decided you weren't enough. The real reason is more uncomfortable. Interest rarely disappears because of who you are. It disappears because of what you unconsciously communicate over time. And what you communicate isn't your words. It's your relationship with yourself. People don't lose interest when you make mistakes. They lose interest when your presence stops carrying weight. When your energy becomes predictable. When your boundaries soften. When your attention is always available. Not because availability is wrong, but because unguarded availability signals something deeper. It signals that nothing is at stake. And the invisible villain behind all of this isn't rejection. It isn't other people. It's comfort. Comfort dulls edges. Comfort smooths urgency. Comfort teaches you to delay becoming sharper. You stop challenging yourself. You stop demanding more from your time. You stop protecting your focus. Not intentionally. Just gradually. Distraction fills the gaps. Routine numbs the days. Tomorrow becomes a habit. And none of this makes you weak. It makes you human. You still show up. You still care. You still try to be decent. But something subtle shifts. Your life stops feeling driven by intention. And starts feeling managed by reaction. And people feel that. They may not be able to explain it. But they sense it. Because humans are drawn to direction. To grounded energy. To people who move with quiet certainty. Not perfection. Not dominance. Presence. When your life lacks friction, your presence loses tension. And tension is what creates interest. This is where most people misunderstand the problem. They think they need to be more exciting, more entertaining, more impressive. So they perform. They add layers. They exhaust themselves trying to be liked. But that only makes the loss of interest happen faster. Because the issue was never charisma. It was identity. But here's the truth. And this is where everything changes. People don't stay interested in you because of what you give them. They stay interested. Because of what you demand of yourself. When you respect your time, others feel it. When you guard your energy, others notice. When your life has structure, your words carry weight. This isn't about productivity. It's not about routines or habits. It's about self-respect expressed through discipline. Discipline is not restriction. It's definition. It tells the world. This person knows who they are becoming. When you live without discipline, your identity stays flexible. And flexibility, over time, feels unstable. People don't feel safe investing in instability. Not emotionally. Not mentally. Even if they care. Discipline gives your presence gravity. It makes your yes mean something. Because your no exists. It creates contrast. And contrast is what keeps attention alive. When you drift, people drift with you. When you anchor yourself, people feel grounded around you. This is why interest fades. When you abandon structure in your own life. Not because people are cruel, but because humans mirror energy. If you delay your own growth, others subconsciously delay investing in you. If you keep saying tomorrow, they feel no urgency today. And here's the uncomfortable part. You may be emotionally available, but energetically absent. You may be kind, but uncontained. You may be thoughtful, but directionless. And none of that is a character flaw. It's a signal problem. Your life isn't communicating momentum. And momentum is magnetic. People are drawn to movement, to evolution, to someone who feels like they're going somewhere. Not loudly, not arrogantly, quietly. Discipline does that. It sharpens your edges. It narrows your focus. It gives your time meaning. And when your time has meaning, your attention becomes valuable. When your attention becomes valuable, people feel it when they receive it. That's when interest returns. Not because you chased it, but because you stopped leaking it everywhere. This doesn't mean becoming cold, or distant, or unavailable for the sake of it. It means becoming intentional. Choosing depth over noise. Direction over drift. Identity over impulse. You don't need to announce this change. You don't need to explain yourself. The shift is internal. But the impact is visible. Your words slow down. Your presence settles. Your energy feels deliberate. And people respond differently. Without knowing why. Some will lean back in. Some won't. And that's okay. Because the goal was never to keep everyone interested. It was to become someone whose presence is rooted. Someone whose life isn't waiting to start. Someone who no longer needs attention to feel real. Interest is a byproduct, not a pursuit. And right now, the question isn't, why did they lose interest in you? The real question is quieter. Where did you stop demanding more from yourself? And start waiting for others to notice you? Because the moment you answer that honestly, everything begins to shift. Not all at once. Not dramatically. But permanently. So ask yourself, are you living in a way that makes your own life feel engaging? Or are you asking others to supply the meaning you postponed? And if discipline is the line between being overlooked and being felt, what happens when you finally cross it without telling anyone you did? Now subscribe this channel for more psychology and hit like if you understand this specified psychology. Share with someone who actually need this. See you in the next video.